update. I wanted to give an update after the drop we had seen since this weekend. So it's easier to do that with a video opposed to write it all down, because there are quite a few possibilities. So yeah, let me dive into them. So basically what we had was that we created our monthly low right here, which is still our monthly low. Then we grind it up, leaving liquidity behind, and then we had an aggressive push up above a pretty important, let me delete that for a moment, pretty important horizontal level. If we look at the former price action here, we created a low, then we had the new all-time high, and from that time we see that each time we hit this level, we push up, we break down, retested it from below, retested it from below, broke above it, tested it. So this is a very important horizontal level. And then you can say, is it this high, is it that low? That doesn't matter. It's just this overall region that is very important. So there we have that horizontal. Then let's go back to the level. We broke above it, and from there on I was looking for either a sweep of this low and then a reclaim and then continuation, or a deeper pullback into here and then continuation higher. However, what we have seen now is not really what I wanted to see for the short-term bullish case, because instead of testing this important horizontal level, it looks more like we broke below it and are now in a pretty awkward spot, if you ask me. I see this as a new range with range low, range high, currently at the mid-range, and therefore not really a place I like to do business beside scalps. If we look a bit closer, we also can see that this moved down after creating the highs. We went down, bulls tried to push up, and then a very aggressive move down. So normally when you go down more slowly, then you have a reason to come back up. Right now, because we have that move up, down, very aggressive down, my expectation is that if we don't get a super clean accumulation here, that we will get a lower high and then continue the downtrend. So right now it will be important what's gonna happen. So we have a few important levels. What we can see that is that from here we created a lot of liquidity. So that means that if we start taking out these lows, so get back under this low, then I expect us to give a pretty quick retracement all the way back towards all this liquidity. So just simply looking at it from a range perspective. Then if we zoom in some more, let me clear this up. What we have seen here is that after this week, after that dump, we had our initial range low, we took that out, swept it again, and then swept it again, and then buyers stepped in. So locally this looks pretty good. I think we can move higher. If we get a move down here, I'm interested in longs towards here, but in my opinion this move down is a bit too short to give a proper deviation kind of move. So if we push up from here already, then I'm actually more interested in shorts back to these levels and potentially lower. What would be the bullish case for me, therefore, is that we either get an extended accumulation here that takes some longer, fail to break down, show accumulative behavior, and then I think that this could be the deviation move below, aka the manipulation move, and that we then get a push from here into supply, get a little rejection, look for backtest of this created range, and then continue higher. That would be a bullish idea. If we already push up from here, then I actually think that it's a bearish outcome. So if we already push up from here, then I am gonna look for shorts in here, hold them, and see what happens here. If we hold this level and continue higher, then I will switch those shorts into longs. But my main idea on the high time frame is that if the sooner we push up here, the higher the chance that we form a lower high, create and take all that liquidity, and then form a new range in which we can look for this level to be taken out, take all that sell side liquidity, take out the range low, and then look for new rotation plays, and then just back up, which would mean that we are right now in the middle of that new created range, and then it can take quite a while to make some explosive moves up again. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So in the short term, I think we are in the middle of basically nowhere at the mid range. So I'm trading it like a mid range, which means that I will be looking for local scalps somewhere here into the air. There I look for shorts again and just play the rotations. I don't think this already is enough of manipulation to bring us back to 120k, for example. It can always be the different case. It can also be that if we push up here and I see local accumulative behavior and I get in the long, that I still hold them till there. But right now my main expectation is that that we are gonna see more choppy price action, and that this needs more time to resolve, and that there's quite a big chance that we broke structure here, get a lower high for a lower low. Can't rule that out. Then let's quickly look at USDT. Here we have price still in the major range where we deviated range lows, then get back in the range, front ran the range high, and then just chopped around, and from here saw an aggressive push up. Range highs are still untaken, so also here I would not be surprised, or I would actually prefer to see those highs be taken out, which are the range highs. How can that happen? Either it already happens from here, then we get down, or we get some more downside, form a higher low like this, and then continue from there up, and then look for range high deviations, stuff like that. But here, yeah, to be very honest, I think this is a bit of a awkward spot to fully reject from here and go back to the lows. For the more bullish case, I actually would like to see this cleared out and then get down. Otherwise, we will do that in the near future, because we are creating even more liquidity if we leave all those highs behind. Then there's a reason later to take them all out in one shot. So that's USDT. And ETH, yeah, big range where we had our range high, range low, deviated the highs, and from here we're trading above the mid range, looked like accumulative behavior, and then here at the mid range, sudden drop lower, very aggressive, taking out all this liquidity, leaving supply behind. So I'm seeing this like just ranging behavior. We are now at the range lows, but always after such an aggressive move, then price does not do this. That's not something you often see. So what I'm expecting here is that we either go lower, then reclaim the range low, then I'm interested in longs. Else we can also get a move up here, maybe test supply, then come back, and then if we come back, that's where I'm interested in longs. But right now, to me, this chart screams that it needs more time for development. So even if price does this, pushes up from here back to the breakdown, I'm not getting FOMO or anything. I think that's healthy. Then come back down and then look for higher lows and then just play this range. But if you look even more locally, this does not look super good to me. So needs more development. Just looking to play this high time frame range, which means either 1, 2, come here and then look for the third tap long, or watch for deviations below and then reclaims for longs, or the same here, where you do this, deviate below, reclaim the range, and then long it, just as we always play the range. So that's for ETH. Solana was a really strong performer, but now in a pretty awkward spot where we have a lot of supply above. Here we have all liquidity below, so here also not really any demand until 180 to hold price up. A lot of liquidity, and this is nothing of structure. So also here, it can bounce from here, but then is this a super strong low to trust? In my opinion, not. You want to see something like this, create a new range, show accumulative behavior, and then from here, if you break structure, then I would say, okay, this is a good low to trust. Right now, this to me also tells that this needs more time to develop. So for scalps, you can play longs up, down, but in my opinion, it needs more time. Same case for SUI. Talked about this range where we had 1-2 taps, then price went up, but in a very slow move where we left a lot of liquidity behind. And that's always a way to be very cautious, because once price starts to reverse, that's like the staircase up, elevator down, where you create a lot of liquidity, staircase up, slowly moving up, and then the elevator takes everything in one instance, and that is what happened here. So also here, because we moved so heavily down, I'm not expecting this to give a fee reverse. It can give a strong bounce, make everyone super bullish, but 9 out of 10 times you will come back, create structure, and that's where I'm interested. So also here, needs more time, although I'm very interested in potential longs here around this region, because we have R1, R2, and are now for the third tap back at the range low. So this is an area where I'm super interested in longs, but I think it needs maybe 1 or 2 weeks more development. Then give a break structure, have some more structure from this high to that low in between, and then you can take swing longs with an invalidation here and then target the range highs again. So definitely an interesting chart, but needs more time, just as the other charts. Same case for DOGE. Here range took out the range high, came back for the range high retest, sold off heavily right now at the mid range. So what can happen here? A lot can happen. We can push up, come back down, take out these lows again, and then have a new local range where you can work with. But overall, at the mid range is not the place to do business. So I'm expecting more price action right here, and then either wait for a lot of strength, which would mean test the supply, come back, accumulate, push above, then new highs are next. But yeah, there is a lot that can happen. And they closed off. Then we have XRP looking pretty similar to SUI, where we had our range low, sweep of the range low, moved up without much structure, and then swept all that liquidity, even made a new low. And then here I'm super interested in potential longs, but I think it can take a little bit longer than form a new local range and then push up from here, in which you have like a local return to zone there to work with, give a local break structure, and then long it back to the highs with this as your most obvious invalidation. But once you break structure from here, you can use this as your invalidation as well. But of course, all depends on what price action will give. Beside that, yeah, hype, range, a lot of sell side liquidity, deviated the highs. So this is a PO3 in play right now, selling off aggressively. Yeah, overall expectation, maybe we push up, is that we clear the PO3, in which the range lows are next. Then we have in some other charts, but don't want to make it too long. I think the view is pretty clean. It's just that I'm not expecting super wild moves. So a lot of people are scared to miss the bottom. What if it goes from here? But what if What if, in my opinion, if you just look at the structure right here, is that I think we are just in the range, at the mid-range, where a lot can happen. So we can move up, we can come down. I think it's a trader's market for the next few weeks. So play your local longs, play your local shorts, let them run if you can let them run, else just take profits. If we look at the alts, they look like shit. They need development for a few weeks. So yeah, just trade your levels. Don't try to get every long, think it's the bottom long into new all-time highs. I think that's a losing strategy for the whole cycle for most coins. And if you continue to do that, you will get stopped over and over again. So just take your longs, take your profits, bring them home, and then once things are cleaner, you can let them run. Because I expect later in Q4 some crazy altcoin runs, which I quickly share, for example, with SHIB. There are a lot of coins that have super good looking accumulative behavior, like SHIBA, where we have 1 with R2, and then we have this whole zone open for the third tap. So I'm expecting price to maybe chop around, tap into that, that's the third tap, and then get a massive move up. Similar coins like SHIBA, like if we look at the trend line and do the same for FIL, for example, where we have also 1, 2, 3 potentially formed, and we get a look at the trend line, then we can see that the trend line has compression, and that's what altcoins many times have, is that they have 1, 2, 3, 3 is always the fake one, and then compression into the fourth, and the fourth is the real breakout. And if I look at many charts, that breakout looks to be, timing wise, be around November or end of October, November into December. So I wouldn't be surprised if we compress with these altcoin charts and then get a breakout in 1 or 2 months, which would align with the other coins I just explained and shared my view on, is that they probably need more time for development. Maybe we go in ultra chop mode to instead of price capitulation, it will be because of time capitulation, because price is just ranging and not doing that much, in which people leave, and then at the moment people think this is too boring. That's when the real fun starts. So that's my overall expectation. Wanted to share a video because otherwise it would be way too hard to explain this in text. So thanks for watching. I hope it's not too long, and if you have any questions, other opinions, or whatever, let them know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and cheers.